been doing push-ups. I've been doing sit-ups. I've been doing chin-ups. I've been doing pull-ups. I threw up once, but I'm okay now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to a TGIF Friday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Yoakley live and in studio. Richie Giuliano taking a little bit of the foot off the pedal because he was doing some late action baseball last night. Rich, let's talk about that first and foremost. A long game. I'm talking like 3.5 hours long last night. You didn't get out of Beastwood until late. Scrappers on a little bit of a slide right now. What are you seeing from the announcer's booth that the Scrappers, that's their biggest gator closest to the boat?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of things, but, first off, West Virginia is a team that has stacked up their roster for the second half of the season, and they're averaging 10 runs a game and 15 hits a game. So this is an offense that hasn't been stopped, and they have a lot of local products. A couple guys from Malone University who transferred to Marietta. And then they've got a guy who won the MLB Draft League Batter of the Week in Turner Hill. And then Jack Elliott, who's from Mercyhurst University, was the all-time home run king with the Lakers at Mercyhurst. He hit a home run last night. So, it's the offense for the Black Bears that is so good. But, looking forward to this weekend with State College coming in for a 3-game set. And tonight's going to be a fun one. It's firework night at Eastwood Field. And they're also giving away 1,000 Aaron Savali bobbleheads. So you got to get there before that gate opens because bobblehead night in Youngstown is the biggest night. They line up out like beyond the gate, outside of the sign. There's hundreds of people lined up before the gates open at 6 o'clock. So if you want a bobblehead tonight, you got to get there early.
Are you going to get a bobblehead? Will you qualify for that?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't want to take away from the fans, but I might snag one.
Attaboy. See, you got to have some perks to that position. Go grab yourself a bobblehead. Tell Heather and Jordan you deserve it. I mean, you're in there night in, night out, and it's not an easy job. We talked about it. No. Not an easy job. You got to rest that voice a little bit. My friend, enjoy it tonight. Enjoy it this weekend. What is there? 9 games left after this weekend, something like that, where it'll wrap up. So it's coming to a close. There's excitement, yet there's sadness because you and I, being baseball fans, when baseball wraps up around here and there's no more ball to be called, it's sad. But what's on the horizon. You know that it's going to be a big year for your Canfield Cardinals, I'm sure. And you get to change up the motor a little bit. It's kind of like an oil change if you think about it. Just kind of getting that old stuff out and then putting new charge in. And by the time we get to baseball again, man, we are all zinged up and ready to go.
Well, the crazy thing is, too, I think it's week 3 of the football season. We're still calling Scrappers baseball. So it's like the football season starts so early this year, and then you still have baseball. So it's going to be really weird from going from Friday night football to Saturday afternoon and Saturday night baseball with the Scrappers. So, I mean, it's going to be a busy first start of the fall, but it's going to be very interesting.
It's going to be fun. And don't forget, on Tuesday, it's YSN night at the ballpark where we're inviting out every single team here in the Valley. Buy your tickets, get them as a team. There's even picnic packages that you can have kind of dinner at the ballpark. Enjoy that. We want to have competitions on the field to where, we've got Boardman versus Poland and, Canfield versus whatever. We want everybody to come out, enjoy a great night of baseball before all hell breaks loose on Thursday night and football begins in the Valley. And then with football comes volleyball. Golf has just started. McNuggies, my dude, medalist yesterday, and starts the local Beavers 1-0 on the year. So congrats to McNuggies And certainly, Richie, like you said, it's a gear shift that we had last week, really this week and next week. But this is our last Friday, if you think about it, because we have the Academy on Friday.
Yep.
This is our last Friday that we have to our lonesome. It is.
Yeah.
We are done till Thanksgiving.
You're right. Yeah. I mean, you get those 2 weeks off right now during the month of July and August, and then you go right back into it with some football and volleyball and, all the other fall sports. And then you relay into basketball as well. So, this is our 2-week period if you want to go to the Bahamas for a vacation, but that's about it.
Let's get to our On This Day in Sports History. It's a good one today, an interesting one. And then we've got a pretty good interview with Shane Lindstrom. We're going to share with you right after On This Day in Sports History. I roll it. All right, Richard, did you watch well, you didn't watch it because you were at the Scrappers game. Did you pay attention at all to the Jaguars and Raiders last night?
No, I didn't. I was watching the Casual Sports podcast, and they were talking about it a little bit, but that's about all I caught because of last night.
There must be a slow day if they're talking about exhibition football on the Casual Sports podcast. That's all I'm saying. On this day in sports history, you go back to the Hall of Fame in 2006, Warren Moon becomes the first ever black quarterback to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in beloved Canton, Ohio. He's joined by Troy Aikman, John Madden, Rayfield Wright, Harry Carson, and the late, great Reggie White. Hard to believe. I mean, I know it's always a topic when it comes to culture divide, the black quarterbacks. But it's to me, it's amazing to think that Warren Moon just, what was it, 06 that was? 06? Yeah, 06.
23 years, yeah. He had a long career.
That's crazy to think that he was the first of everybody. And I know that there wasn't many to give that position to African Americans early on. I just thought it was really interesting. I guess I never paid attention to that. I'm going to sit here and tell you I don't see color, right? I just don't acknowledge it. I just think a quarterback's a quarterback's a quarterback. Same with running backs, same with all athletes and all people. I just think it was really interesting. I never really, I guess I missed the boat. 2006, I would have been in college. So I don't remember about 2.5 years of my college experience. And that was one of those years. 06 and 07 is a little bit of a blur for the old yokester. So to me, it's interesting. Reggie White on that list as well. I think Reggie White, one of the best defenders in all of the NFL's history. Really, one of the most underrated because he's on the defensive line. But Troy Aikman's in that class. That's a great class.
That's stacked. I mean, when you look at Warren Moon, he's like one of the best black quarterbacks of all time. I mean, it's like him, Michael Vick. You got Cam Newton, who was another one, and
Cordell Stewart. So I just wanted to throw him in there. I don't think he's ever been in that conversation. But Cordell, if you're watching, I got your back.
And I believe Warren Moon was the first ever black quarterback into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, I just said that.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to me. You're on Scrapper Watch already. You're out of the show. We're kicking you out. We had a couple great interviews today that I conducted last night after close of business, as they say. So the first one, Shane Lindstrom, I got to say, I just want to preview this young man, an incredible young man, gymnast. Started out as we were swinging baseball bats and playing hoops and football. He didn't play football until 8th grade.
Wow.
He did gymnastics from the time he was 5 years old till I think he said 13 or 14. And it's helped him with other things such as football and as you'll hear in the interview, spatial awareness, which I didn't think would ever be part of our interviews. But sure enough, it pops up. And this young man, he's special. He's a very special young man. He's going to have, I think, a humongous year for South Range. Had a chance to talk to him. I know you're excited about kind of those smaller guys on the field getting the chance. If you can compare this guy to one guy, Rich, I got to tell you, it's Julian Edelman. He is a go-to. Sit back. I know you got to run to Beastwood. Enjoy this interview, and we will catch up with you next week on Monday on the Power Hour. But you got to see this interview, and I think everybody else has to as well. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Buddy DJ Yoakley here, live from YSN World Headquarters, and I am joined by one of my favorite guys. We're built the same. We're the little guys in the room, but we got the biggest hearts. It is South Range's very own Shane Lindstrom, and today's player profile brought to you by Youngstown State University. We are Y and proud. Shane-o, what's going on, dude? How was your summer?
Summer's going great. You know, we started doubles last week, so it's a lot, but it's fun. You know, it's nothing else we'd rather do. So, you know, we're excited and we're looking forward to the season.
How are things different when you go through doubles as a senior? Is it starting to kick in that this is the last go around in the burgundy and gold?
Yeah, it's you know, it's funny you say that because like every day I'm thinking like in my head like, oh, this is my last first this, or you know, my last first, you know, doubles or triples or just like stuff like that. So it's definitely starting to sink in, and we're gonna try to make the most of it.
So last year, man, obviously we don't want to go back and talk. It was a great year. I mean, you go undefeated, you go into the playoffs, and the only team that can stop you is the team that everybody wants to stop, and seemingly no one can. It's Kirtland. Coming off of that loss, what did you learn as a whole when you really stepped back and looked at last season that you're going to take into this season with a little bit extra hunger?
Yeah, first things first. I mean, you said it. Last year was an incredible year. I mean, hats off to last year's seniors for, you know, doing what they did, and you know, the underclassmen too. You know, we came together real well, and you know, it showed in, you know, our record and you know what we accomplished. So last year was it was an amazing year, and you know, fortunately, it ended a little shorter than what we wanted against Kirtland. I mean, you know, after that game, you know, we, like you said, took a step back, and we just, you know, we realized that sometimes, you know, it just doesn't work out. But, you know, we definitely took that as motivation. I mean, we all know the score 38-15, you know, all this, especially the seniors, it's always in, you know, our head, it's in our locker room, it's in our weight room. You know, whenever we're doing sprints or doing a workout, it's always in our head. And it's funny because, you know, sometimes I like to stir things up, and when we're lifting and, you know, I play the music on the speakers, I always play the recap of that game, you know, ending with, you know, 38-15, and just give the guys extra motivation for this.
You put that on the sound system?
Yeah.
It's not me, is it? I hate to be me.
No.
Okay.
No, I think it was like WKBN.
Okay. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all going to hate me. They're going to hate the sound of my voice.
Like Hornets sting the Raiders or something like that. Just extra motivation.
All right. So from that standpoint, obviously you guys, you're getting it in your head. You're getting it in your psyche. Listen, we're going to get Kirtland this time. We're going to get him. It's our senior year. We're going to take them down. They're not going to see it coming. It's going to be us and them again. And then they're out.
Yeah.
So is there a piece of you that goes, yes, or there's a piece of you that goes, man, I just wanted one more shot at them?
You know, it's hard to say because, you know, I'll talk to some people from South Range, and one would be, you know, say like we're glad they're dropped down, but most of the football players are kind of mad or upset that they dropped down because, again, we still want to play them. You know, they beat us the last 3 years, but you know, we'd take the challenge head on, and there's still a lot of great teams in Division 5, and we're excited to play them. But yeah, we thought that Kirtland was gonna stay in our division and, you know, be able to play them for a fourth time, which would be nice, and hopefully we'd be able to beat them. But you know, they dropped down, and we're ready for, you know, new competition.
Next man up, right? That's what they say in that beautiful gridiron sport. All right, so let's talk about this team. This year's team, it's a different look to it. Not necessarily a different feel, but a different look. You lose some of your seniors, obviously, last year. Some standout guys. Michael Lally on your line. You got Dominguez in the backfield. A key part of what you guys were doing on offense, it's going to be a little bit different of a look when you look at the burgundy and gold when you guys start things on the 18th against Springfield. But what does this team have? Not necessarily what the other teams didn't, but what is the character of your senior class and of this 2022 South Range Raider football team?
You know, the people might look different this year, we got different people, but the mentality is the same. You know, we still got that tough, you know, South Range mentality. We're going to go out there. We're going to play South Range football, you know, just like we've been doing, you know, for our 4 years, and how South Range has been the past however many years. You know, that's why they're so successful. You know, the mentality is, you know, it's ingrained in them. And yeah, we're excited for this year. I mean, we did lose, you know, a few key guys. I mean, Dylan is, it's not much else I can say that you guys already don't know. I mean, about him. And like you said, Michael Lally, huge on the line, Logan Cormel, Jacob Brooks, Brent Laws, all those guys, you know, they're gone. But, you know, the new guys that are on the line, you know, they're stepping up. They had a tremendous off season in the weight room, and, you know, they're putting in the work, and, you know, we see that and we're excited.
You have been dubbed the Julian Edelman of the Mahoning Valley. What does that mean? There it is. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
What does it mean to you? And it looks like you take that as a pat on the back instead of like a kick in the boys.
No, I love it. I mean, just ever since, you know, I started watching Julian Edelman. I mean, I'm a Patriots fan, you know, from the second I was born, I was, you know, a Patriots fan. So, you know, when I saw him, you know, first it was Wes Welker, you know, working the slot, and then Julian Edelman came, and, you know, he inspired a lot of my game, and, you know, he gave me a lot of inspiration too, Julian Edelman, you know, just showing that you can do it. And, you know, reading into his story and about his life, you know, he's a tough dude, and, you know, that's what I try to be every day.
Dude, you're tough as nails. There's no doubt about that. There's very few people out there that I would put up against you in a pain competition, because you've played through a lot of pain. You've had a lot of adversity in your life, but you started, most people are sitting there putting Pop Warner helmets on and swinging baseball bats, but you actually started as a gymnast. Talk to me about that and how that whole thing kind of transpired and how it helps you today with your game on the field and on the diamond.
That's right. I mean, I started gymnastics when I was 5 or 6, and, you know, I did it competitively up until I was 13 or 14. And, you know, you said it helps so much, like balance, core strength, like my air sense, you know, it helped like immeasurably. Like, I'm so glad I did it. And even though I decided to quit, I'm extremely glad that my parents, you know, had me in it for as long as I did. And, you know, I wasn't able to play tackle football until 8th grade. Like, so I started a little later than, you know, most of the other guys, but I'm definitely glad I did gymnastics. You know, I made a lot of good memories, and I feel like it, you know, helped me not only like on the field, but my work ethic. You know, we're 7, 8 years old, training 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. So that just like stuck with me, you know, even after I quit. You know, I knew I had to, you know, work out a lot, or I'd, you know, get a little chubby, you know. So I had to, you know, keep that work ethic with me, and I attribute a lot of that to gymnastics.
Well, judging by the rack of ribbons and medals that you have behind you, you did all right by yourself, huh?
Yeah, I did pretty good. You know, I wasn't the most clean gymnast. My form wasn't very good, but I could do some cool tricks. So
what I have to ask, because what was some of the cool things that you got to do? What were some of the events that you took part in?
So I did all 6 events. So there was the floor, vault, parallel bars, pommel horse, rings, and high bar. So I did all 6 of those. And, you know, my favorite event would change, you know, year to year, because my routines would change. And one year I'd be better at this, so like that would be my favorite. Another year I'd be better at floor, and that would be my favorite. So, you know, it changed, but I like doing some cool tricks. On the floor, we have on the floor we had like a foam pit right next to it. So I'd always be the one doing, you know, just flinging myself in the air, doing like 3 backflips or 2 backflips with 4 twists, or 2 backflips with 3 twists. I just like being in there. So
somebody has to have tape or evidence of this somewhere, right? Like it's out there.
Oh yeah. I have a bunch of videos. You know, I like recording it because I just like looking at it, and other people like looking at it too. So yeah, I definitely got some videos stored.
Well, you're going to have to kick those over to me, because we're going to run them on the air during some of these games to let people know just how good of a gymnast you were and why you've got guys and recruiters like Eastern Michigan knocking on your door and saying, hey, we think we'd like you to play for us. Talk to me about what the recruiting, and you guys are kind of, I don't want to say you're getting back to normal, because I don't think it's going to be normal again, ever. But from a recruiting experience, the COVID stuff's kind of over. You guys have had a chance to put stuff on tape. And obviously a Division I college is knocking on your door as a guy that, all right, without the cleats on, how tall are we talking?
Well, so at my physical yesterday, I was 5'6", but I'm 5'7", so.
That's like when I tell my wife on my driver's license, it says I'm 5'7". There's no chance that I'm 5'7".
So yeah, physical, I'm 5'6", I'm 5'7", which is basically 5'8", so I'm basically 5'8".
You're basically 6 foot when you think about it.
If you round it, yeah. Yeah.
I love it. What the recruiting process, man? Walk me through it. You know, you've talked to schools, obviously Eastern Michigan, like I said, ringing you up, and you took a trip there. What was that like?
So yeah, well, first, to answer your first question, you know, the recruitment process has been great. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a lot of film for my sophomore year because of an injury. But after last year, I put some film out there, and I got some interest. And this summer I was able to go to camps and show what I can do. And one of those camps was the Eastern Michigan camp, and I was able to show the things I could do on the field, and I'm glad that they took notice. And when I went down there last week, it was great. I mean, I love the atmosphere there. I love the coaching. I like the mentality that they have down there. It's a lot like South Range, just being tough, hard as nails. And it doesn't matter what the opponent throws at you, you're going to go through it. So I really liked it down there.
All right, let's go backwards. When you were a little boy, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Just like every football player, when I was little, I wanted to be, a pro football player. I even to this day, like you'll never see me walking around the house without a football in my hands.
Yeah.
Like I probably got 15 different footballs in my room right now. So, as a little kid, just tossing the ball up in the air, catching it, throwing it to myself, just envisioning myself, playing pro sports. And, now obviously I still have that, dream, but to be honest, I have no clue what I want to do, where I want to go to school, what major I want to do, what occupation. I have absolutely no clue what I want to do. There's about 15 different things I want to do.
I was just going to say, you took my next question away, but I'll take it. What is your favorite subject in school right now at South Range?
So my favorite subject is math. I've always, been pretty good with numbers.
You're all Yeaglyites. He's got you all.
But I never had him. Unfortunately, I never had him as a teacher. But yeah, I mean, math is just a great subject. Well, certain types of math. Geometry, no. But
I love it. So we got the subject. Who's the teacher? And obviously you got a list of, I'm sure, a laundry list of coaches that have assisted you, helped you, believed in you throughout. Who's the teacher in the classroom that has really looked at you and said, you can do this, or let me help you through this time, or something along those lines that has inspired you to be better, Shane?
Like you said, there's, been a bunch of teachers that have, impacted me and, helped me. One, Miss Rosen, not as like an athletic standpoint, but like she's just always there for every student, asking if they need anything. She's, always asking, how we're feeling and all that. And then also Mr. Papalardo, he's a great guy. He's a great teacher, and he's always talking to me and asking me if I need anything. And so those two for sure have helped me. And obviously my dad, he's a teacher, or unfortunate enough to have him as a teacher. But it was he's definitely one of those teachers, obviously.
What advice would you give yourself as a freshman now that you're a senior?
The advice I'd give myself would probably be just to take everything in. I'm gonna sound cliche, but I don't care. But right. Take it in. It all goes by so fast. I mean, even now, like I talk to my friends, I'm like, wow, we are seniors. Like, I can't believe it went by this fast. So my advice definitely would be the freshman would be, take it all in, try new things, the usual. advice that people give you, but also I just tell them just work hard. You're gonna have a lot of opportunities to do some cool things. So just work hard, whether it's in school, outside of school, and don't do anything stupid.
Yep, that's not bad advice, man. August 18th, you guys have, well, it's kind of a big deal. I don't know if you've marked it on the calendar or not. A team from around here, you may have heard of them, Springfield. You guys seem to have a little bit of a clash seemingly every single year. It might be a little bit of a rivalry in this day and age. Talk to me about what this rivalry means to you.
It means a lot. I mean, just it's special to have a rival, that someone that obviously you look forward to every game, but rivalry week, you got the whole town bumping. I'm sure their town's bumping as well. So we're excited to play them. We know that at Springfield, it's a great program, and South Range is a great program. So there's no surprise that people want to watch that game, because it is going to be a good game. We're excited, and it's a great rivalry, and I'm super fortunate to be a part of it, be a part of South Range, be a part of that rivalry.
You're certainly not messing around when you say it's going to be bumping on the 18th, because you're going to look around and that place is going to be packed from pillar to post. Are you going to be able to take it in at some point before the game or during the game and just look around and say, okay, going from what we had in 2020 to what we have now, we've come a long way?
Oh, for sure. Before the game, during the game, after the game, I'm going to try my best to take it all in. Last year, that game was huge. Not having the game in 2020 really built last year's game up. So last year I let the moment get to me, a little. I was freaking out. I was nervous. It wasn't good. I'm sure you remember that game. I didn't have a good start to that game, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna, take it all in and not let the moment get to me, and just appreciate, what I'm looking at, what I'm feeling, because the seniors in 2020 didn't get to experience that. So I'm not going to take it for granted, and we're not going to take it for granted. And we know that this game, we're gonna win or lose, we're gonna remember it for the rest of our lives. So we're gonna do our best and have some fun.
We are here with the South Range Swiss Army knife himself, Mr. Shane Lindstrom, brought to you by Youngstown State University. We are Y and proud. Shane, a couple of questions before we let you go. Number one, I've been wanting to ask you this for so long. You have, and I think you answered it earlier, but I'm going to let you have it again. You have an innate ability to always be aware of where everybody else is. You literally, if I had to pick a person out of the Marvel universe, you're Spider-Man. You have a spider sense about you, that where everybody is at all times, whether you're on offense or whether people are trying to just take you down wherever they are on the field, whether out of position or not. Where did you acquire that? Is that some kind of superhero power? And do we have to talk to the Marvel universe about trying to figure out if you're like a human being or actually you have got superpowers?
Yeah, no, like some of it, I feel like you're born with, be able to, feel where you are a little bit. But, it just comes with, experience, just, running routes, feeling where the DBs are, what the tendencies of the DBs are, whether they come down, on the inside of you or the outside of you, depending on the route. So, a lot of it's just, experience. And I have a lot of help from our offensive coordinator, Coach Allegretto. He does a phenomenal job, and he helps me, and he, shows me like where this linebacker is going to be. And, if I catch it here, don't turn this way or else you're going to be on the sidelines or stuff like that, So it's a, a little of both. And, it combines well, and it really helps me out on the field.
Who are some of the guys on this team this year, offensively, defensively, that you expect to step up in a big way and have big years for what should be a big year for this Raider team?
Oh yeah. There's a bunch, on defense. Bailey Ryan, stud on the, D line. Tyler Remish is a phenomenal linebacker. And we got Joey Plunkett returning as DB, but we got a bunch of DBs. We got a bunch of skilled DBs that are going to have great years. So, we're excited, and, I think everyone on our defense is, a stud. So defense should be good this year.
And offensively, I mean, I think you know a thing or two about that.
Yeah. Offensively, I mean, goes without saying, Billy Skripak. I mean, every single practice, I'm, amazed by some of the throws he can make. And, not only with his arm, with his brain, he's super smart, he understands the game. And, Coach Al does a great job helping him. Chris Colucci returning on the line. He's a real, he's the captain of the O-line, in that regard. Aiden and JD, they're going to have great years. And, we're working Dean DePizzo in the mix, and Jake Starkey. So everyone on our offense is going to have a great year. So we're excited.
I'm shocked that you're saying everybody on offense is going to have a great year, being the catalyst of that offense outside of the old gunslinger, Billy the Kid, in the backfield. All right. So last question I have for you, from a standpoint of why South Range is so important to you. Why do you take so much pride when you walk out there on a Friday night and wear that burgundy and gold?
That's a great question. There's so many things that, go into that. I came to South Range when I was in 3rd grade. And, I think that's one of the best decisions my, parents, have ever made. So, going out there wearing that, burgundy and gold, it just, there's not many words to, describe, what the community of South Range, is like. And, the people, even the people on our football team, I just look at them and I, see their tendencies, and they're just tough people, hardworking people. And, I'm in other communities, and I see other people, not only from other areas, other states, and, they just don't have that same, hard work and, toughness that South Range has. So I'm super fortunate to be, part of this community. And, everyone in South Range community is, so loving, and, they help everyone, even if they don't know them, but they know they're from South Range, so they know they're good people. And, I'm just, so thankful to be a part of it.
Awesome answer, man. Thank you so much, Shane, for taking 20 some minutes with us. Appreciate it greatly. You're going to have a great season. We're all rooting for you here. Obviously, you're a dynamic player, and you're an even better kid and young man. And we're excited to follow you. And best of luck with the recruitment process. If there's anything we can do, please don't be afraid to reach out as we help you. That is Shane Lindstrom. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You got it. There he is, Shane Lindstrom. Again, thanks to Shane for stopping by a little bit last night. Obviously, pretty busy guy nowadays, getting ready for that South Range NE8 championship defense. And he kicks off the season on the 18th against Springfield. We'll have it right here. I'll actually have the call for you. So that'll be exciting here on YSN. We're going to take a break. We come back. We talked about sports cards yesterday. It's on the comeback. It's on the trail. And it's probably a little closer than that. It's probably right in your face. It's right in your back door. So if you are a sports collector, trader, you just yearn for those days of having those sports cards back. Well, the game's changed a little bit, folks. And we've got Chuck Feelick to pop in from Midwest Cards to talk about how the game has changed. And also a really interesting story that really tugs at your heartstrings a little bit. More of a personal interest story than it is sports, but it makes you want to be a better person. So we're going to take a break. We come back. Chuck Feelick joins us here on the YSN Power Hour right after this.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
I'm on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at wrsinsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
Here, it's Chuck. He's back on YSN, and he is going to talk to us about his new endeavor with Midwest Cards. And listen, we talked about it on the Power Hour earlier this week. Trading cards are back. Sports cards are back. It's not just baseball. It's everything. And Chuck, you have been kind of the face of the franchise, if you will, for Midwest. And you've been everywhere doing everything. You've been meeting, shaking hands, kissing babies, doing whatever it takes. Talk to me about, number one, how you got back into the sport card game and why it's so big right now.
Well, I mean, first of all, fell into it just for the sake of two things. One, sometimes it's who you know, right? Happen to know someone who decided to start this business a couple years ago. And then they also decided, hey, it's about time we dig back into, I shouldn't say back into, dig bigger into the social media world with our brand, right? We need to get out there. We need to really get ourselves out. And so since I happen to know some people who are involved there, they might have seen me on social media here and there doing a couple of things, right? I tend to be out and about in the social media space. So those two things fit. It involves sports. It involves cards. I love both of those things. I also kind of like talking. So the match was made, and that kickstarted it.
So when you look at this, I mean, back to the generation when you and I were puppies and we're getting cards, we're going down to the convenience store, we're ripping them, we're smelling them, the bubble gum's in there, like even the ones that didn't have bubble gum still smelled so, it was like a fresh car smell. It's back. It's back. You're opening boxes, you're opening it up, but it's a different game now. It's not, we're looking for the Ken Griffey Juniors of the world just to have it and hold on to it and to trade them with each other and play them, so to speak. These people are looking at it from a memorabilia standpoint. They're looking to basically invest in these trading cards, put them back on eBay or Amazon or whatever, and have someone pay their way into their next fortune, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of it. I mean, it's still the collector side, no doubt about it, and you see a lot of it. But yeah, I mean, there's the aspect, as you said, going down to your local store and spending $2 and getting 5 packs of cards and open them all up and checking them out. Those days are long gone. Those days, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can find your cheaper stuff, but yes, it's the high end kind of product is really what reigns supreme. And, you know, in some ways, hey, look, it can be a little disparaging because you're like, wow, it kind of priced me out when you want to buy certain things, but the product is so different. It's not just the little thin slices of cardboard anymore. I mean, you're talking about things that you can literally get cards that have gold and platinum in them, diamonds in them. I mean, these cards are out of this world. But yes, it's a lot of it is about flipping cards. People love getting into it for investing. I mean, there's a whole segment just about that. I mean, it's treated like the stock market in a lot of ways, where you're like, hey, look, I can buy this card today. I got to pick the right guy. Let me get the right card, the right situation, hold it maybe for a month or two. Hey, it might double in value by then. Or sometimes it's bigger investments. Sometimes can I make $3, but do that 200 times in a week? I mean, it all ranges, all sizes. It's absolutely just a bigger thing than I ever could have wrapped my head around when I jumped back into it a few months ago.
Is this a generational thing where, the kids that, collected them as kids now have some money as adults and we want to, do this with our kids now?
100%. It is so much what you see of guys our age are just like, wait, these are cool again? I have a real job. I can buy stuff. Let's do this. And they're ready to jump in and just and buy it now. And it's great though, because then you see they're bringing their kids in. Their kids are already now their kids are hooked, right? I mean, as you mentioned, not only is the hobby back in a big way, but it looks like that's only going to lead to it carrying on for as long as we can see right now.
And this is something that's not just us. Like I'm seeing 10-year-olds with card breaks going on and, ripping open the cards, ripping open the packs, all that stuff. But I was so interested because I watch everything you do naturally. But
appreciate it.
The one that I saw, you opened up a pack of, I believe it was Topps Pristine. And it was like you had cards that were already like in protectors, that were autographed, that had pieces of jersey. Like you said, these aren't necessarily what you're looking at anymore, where you're just hoping to get a guy that starts on a roster somewhere. Like right. You're spending like I guess the question is, what's the amount that I should expect to spend on trading cards nowadays?
I mean, that's one of the most popular questions you get is all the time. Like, oh, I see you're back in the cards. How much does a pack of cards cost? Literally, you can buy a pack of cards for $5, or you can buy a pack of cards for $300. I mean, it varies just like anything, right? You can go buy a car for $1,000, or you could buy one for $500,000. So it's all in what you get. Like that Pristine product, for example, relatively affordable, all things considered, right? I mean, a pack of cards, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I mean, I want to think a pack is like $82 for a pack, but you saw what you're getting in that pack. I mean, you're not just getting a stack of cards. You're not always guaranteed to get autos and memorabilia cards in every pack. But if you buy hobby boxes, that's also how they do it nowadays. That hobby box will tell you right on it. You are guaranteed in here to get 2 autographs, 3 memorabilia cards, and 4 parallels. Parallel being a different version of another card in the pack. Now, you could get an autograph of a guy who's bats 8th in the lineup or is a left guard, which isn't maybe that exciting. But you also could get a Justin Herbert, and you're going to be going bananas. So that's where the excitement comes in, right? It's like buying a scratch-off lottery ticket. I could win millions, or I could be throwing it in the trash.
That's it. And one of the things, there was 6 packs in like a I don't know what you call it, a box, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you pull the Pristines out, where if I got a pack, and this is what I used to ask for Christmas, I wanted a box of cards. So right. I'm sitting there with 80 rips, 80 like on. I'm opening up all day, baby, and I'm just lapping in luxury. You got 6 packs in a box, but you said that's $82 ish per pack.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in probably $500+ to get a box of cards. But like you said, autographs, memorabilia, stuff like that, the jerseys that are in it, very cool stuff. So these guys at Midwest, talk about them. They've done an excellent job of branding, namely you, bringing you to the table. Why is Midwest turning into the go-to for everything that is knowledgeable about cards?
I mean, a couple reasons. First of all, the owners, and Jim and John is their name. These guys are tremendous people. And the thing that we really want to set ourselves apart from everybody else is, I mean, look, you can buy cards anywhere, right? I mean, you know that. Look, we all have the internet. We can all do that. We try to set ourselves apart for a couple reasons. One, and mainly, really, customer service. I mean, anyone can just point, click, and order stuff. We try to have a personal approach to it from that aspect of it. We have a customer service rep named Trevor. Guy's amazing. I mean, this guy's, every time you order something, get it shipped to you, he's sending you a message. He's making sure it was okay. Did you like it? Is everything good?
Wow.
Our 2 guys that we have shipping, these guys absolutely crush it. And I mean, you can go on right now and Google search like shipping catastrophes of people ordering these things, and you'll see tons of pictures of people open up their thing that they got delivered from somewhere, and you got merchandise all over the place, and it's slammed, damaged boxes and all of that. We get nothing but the finest of accolades of people saying, yep, got my Midwest delivery today. The stuff is packed perfectly, neat, clean, tight, protected. We're all about all those sort of things. You got to take those extra miles, right? You got to separate yourself. And hey, like you said, it doesn't hurt to have me talking for you, right? I mean, who am I to complain about that, right?
Never. You're our guy. I mean, like for us, you've been a part of the YSN family for years now. We're so proud of you, what you've done. Obviously, this is just another kind of notch in the belt for you as far as we're concerned, but you're very prideful of it, and I'm very excited for you. So the question I have for you to wrap up this portion of the interview, is this another trend, or do you see this staying on for a little bit longer? Like, I don't want to go out and buy $600 worth of cards and then they're not worth anything. Like, oh, I don't know, these ones that we have.
No. So, and I tell you what, here's something that really opened my eyes. Just this past weekend, got to go to my first national card convention. It's strictly called, it's called the National. It's called that for a reason. This was the 42nd year they've had this thing. And it was in Atlantic City. The scope of this card convention, DJ, I can't even begin to explain it to you without you seeing the massiveness of this thing. I was blown away, bamboozled, mind boggled, whatever term you want to use it. I mean, just imagine taking a couple football fields wide and long and just literally covering every square inch of that of somebody standing there with their setup to talk, sell, or buy cards. Just the scope. This hobby, not only is it not going anywhere, I only see it growing with the popularity and the ideas that people, the levels they've taken it to with the creativity, like you said, just the things that you're getting now. I'm not just getting this piece of cardboard as you see on the screen here with just some guy's face on it. I mean, and just, I could go on and on about it forever, about the things they do, the numbered cards, the rarity of things, the one-of-ones that people go crazy for. As you mentioned, the breaking online that has become its own animal and its own universe of things. So I just can't imagine, not only is it not going anywhere, I can't imagine it going anywhere but up.
Was there one card you had as a kid that you absolutely just could not trade?
Oh, yeah, 100%. For me, it was, I had a 1988 Michael Jordan Fleer basketball sticker. And I still have it. Of course
Absolutely
you do.
Of course you do. One of the best memorabilia. Look at the stuff behind you, man. Like, you live sports 24/7, which is why we love you. Another reason why we love you so much. And I don't want to sour the mood, because it's not a sour story. It's a phenomenal comeback story in the making. You, my friend, went down to Columbus last week, 2 weeks ago, and you found somebody out there. A little story, just kind of make it short and sweet. Was you found a gentleman that was homeless, and you saw something on his sign that really spoke to you. You went, you ate, you came back, and you sat down next to him and you asked him about his story. From there, it's turned into one of my wife's favorite things to watch on social media. Can you speak to this story a little bit as to why it's so important, not just to you, but not to over dramatize this, but humankind?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I don't think it over dramatizes it at all, because that's just the key to it all. This has always been a soft spot in my heart for as long as I can remember. And up to this point, it's always been simple help, like just whether you bought someone a sandwich, gave somebody, $5 out of your wallet, whatever it was. That's just something I've been doing for years and years. I could give you a million examples, but regardless of that, this situation, I don't know what it was, but you're right. Something on his sign, it struck me the way it said, "Talk to me before you judge me." And so I literally sat down and said, "Your sign says talk to you before I judge you. Go ahead and talk." And that's what started it. And I've been in communication with him. His name is Tim. As I'm sure if no one's seen, feel free to go to my Facebook and watch all the videos. I talked to him again today before I left to head back home. And he can't stress enough about how different he feels and his outlook and just his mind processes thoughts just from conversation. I mean, this isn't necessarily about handing someone a ton of money or 100% solving their issues. I mean, it can only do so much, but literally just having a friend, a conversation, thinking that somebody cares about you, knowing that somebody cares about you and also wants something good for you that you've wanted. But as he put it, he was completely lost and just felt like a lump of nothingness in the world. I mean, he looked right at me and said, "I'm invisible." That was one of the first things he said to me. "I'm invisible. These people pass by me all day." And it's not necessarily about a handout. It was about talking to the guy. And I mean, in our conversation, I've talked to him almost daily. He just completely has the difference I can see in this man from the day I sat down and said, "I'm going to listen to your story," to now. It's monumental, the change already. And he something I preached to him was he really, obviously he's been on the streets for a couple of years. So look, that changes the way you think about things. So you got to hone, bring that back in. And he'd get overwhelmed with things. And something I preached to him that first day was, hey man, one thing at a time. We can only all do one thing at a time. So let's pick a couple problems, let's put them on a list, and let's start to solve them. And so I thought one of the most important things was step one, let's get you an ID, right? We already know, I know who you are now, Tim, you know who you are. We got to make sure that you can show people who you are to move forward in life. And he agreed. I got him some information. He has an appointment on Monday where he goes to start the process with a place that's going to help him do it. So I said, that's step one. And he has bought into that process, which is so important. And he said it again to me today. He said, because he does have a phone that he received. He gets a free phone that he's able to use. And he cracked the screen. And he said, that would have floored me. That would have totaled me a month ago. He goes, now I just know that I just have to fix it. But I'm going to get this ID. We're going to get this fixed. And he's free one thing at a time. And I said, just keep remembering that. And so far, man, it's a great story, but we're still in the beginning stages of it, but we're well underway.
Dude, I'm enthralled. I love it. I commend you on everything you do, but dude, you are such a good-hearted person. I've never asked you anything that you said no to. And I'm sure there's many more stories like that we can all make a difference instead of just walking on by. They're not asking for a hand out. They're asking for a hand up. And essentially, just like you said, one thing at a time. And dude, when you did that first, I think it was a live, when you did that first live, people started donating money to you and you were able to give him $500.
I was able to give him $500, which he used to stay in a motel for a week. And he almost was like sad to tell me about it because he's like, I'm sorry, but it used most of the money. And I said, you deserve to sleep in a bed and have a roof over your head for a little while.
Yeah.
You deserve it. Don't you regret that for a minute. And look, be honest, the donations haven't stopped. I got actually more today from a great person reached out, was willing to help. I was able to get with Tim to help him out and help him go on a little longer. Like I said, the process is long, but we're on our way.
Dude, just congratulations across the board. Congratulations on being one of the best human beings that I know. If anybody knows you,
Thanks.
it's probably the same thing. If people want to find you in Midwest Cards, how do they do that?
Yeah. So Midwest Cards is pretty simple. MidwestCards.com. I mean, that's where it's at. That's where it starts. We're on pretty much every social media platform. If you search Midwest Cards, you should find us. Like Instagram is Midwest Cards HQ. Find us there. But for the most part, you'll be able to find us just with a simple Google search. And you'll just see more of me all over the place because that's where I'm at. That's where I'm living these days.
And if people want to find you personally and follow the story with Tim?
Yeah, if you want to be sticking mainly to Facebook with that. So it's Chuck Fielek, last name spelled F as in Frank, I-L-E-K. Find me on Facebook. That's where the Tim story is gonna be mostly put out there. But I'm also on Twitter at Chuck Go Browns. Feel free to find me there. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Wait, you're a Browns fan?
I mean, I know it's hard to, not many people know that, but yeah, hard to believe, right? I know. I keep it hidden so well,
Way under the radar. way under the radar. No, seriously, one of the biggest Cleveland fans I know, one of the biggest sports fans I know. Chuck, thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Appreciate your story. Love what you're doing on both sides of the coin, professionally and personally. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, man, thanks for having me. Anytime I can talk to you, DJ, it's a good time. Appreciate it.
Probably should turn my mic on. It's the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, residential, anything electrical, head over to DickeyElectric.com and get that solved today. And tell them why I sent you. All right, another positive spark. We have a couple guests in studio. We will not put that on because I know one of them will probably run out of the room like it's on fire. But I want to thank our guests for coming in, checking out the studio. Had a couple people in earlier today and yesterday. This place, downtown East Palestine, Ohio, is the streaming capital of the world, at least for the here and now. And it's all because of people like you. So thank you very much for all your support and for the kind words and for the encouragement to keep going. Not that we're ever going to stop, but I'll tell you what, that pat on the back's nice every now and then. I hope you get a pat on the back. And just like Chuck said, make sure you help somebody up. Maybe somebody that's having a rough week, rough day, rough month, rough year. Help them up. You know what I mean? Give them some encouragement, some positivity in their life, somebody that cares. And you'd be surprised what that does for them. And you'll be surprised what it does for you too. So enjoy your weekend. It's going to be a rainy one, it looks like. If you want to catch us out, we'll be at the Beaver Local Golf outing tomorrow. The shotgun start is at 9 a.m. So if you're out there, you're already lost because I think we're going to take it tomorrow. So that's just how I'm going to leave that. Probably not. I'm not golfing very well this season, and we might have a ringer, though. We might have a ringer, so look out. Enjoy your weekend. Treat others well. Treat yourself well, and we'll see you Monday, 3 to 4, right here on the Ysn Power Hour. Thanks again to our guests, Shane Lindstrom and Chuck Feelick, for stopping by. And, of course, again, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, and enjoy what good weather you can squeeze out of it. We'll see you on Monday. Ysn thanks you for watching this presentation of